What is going on, people? Welcome back to another week, but not just any week. We have a very special weekend of podcasting in mind for you guys this weekend. No, it is not myself and Luke going live with our regularly scheduled episode of Talking Lost. That will be tomorrow. We're doing a fun episode. This Place is Death, a very, very significant, important episode in season 5. We're also going to be reviewing The Backrooms tomorrow. But first, we decided to do something a little special. Little extra treat for you, the viewing audience, considering that since it is the final weekend of May, May 31st is on Sunday. That means that it is Emmys cutoff time. That means that this previous Emmy ceremony is over. And for those of you who have not been paying attention, there's a little TV show, about a particularly notable Marvel character, or rather, I should say, a variant, a spinoff of a notable Marvel character, if you will, that just dropped on Amazon. That being the live-action adaptation of Spider Noir, played by Nicolas Cage, his first ever TV show that he has ever done. Yes, this is the spinoff of the animated character that was introduced as one of the Spider variants in Into the Spider-Verse. And now we are witnessing it in all of its live-action gloriousness. And so that gave me... While I wait for the airplane to go past Mac's window or whatever.
Sorry.
It's good. What's it called? So that gave me a little idea. Look, we haven't done a movie draft in a while. And also, we haven't covered an actor. We haven't done an Actors Hall of Fame in a minute. So I decided to do something a little bit extra, a little bit fun, a little bit silly. So today we are going to be doing a Nicolas Cage draft. That's right. The hardest working actor in all of Hollywood. The man who I'm pretty sure has done more movies collectively than any other living actor right now. This man has truly done it all. Famously the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola, the director, has been acting since the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and now possibly having one of his most critically acclaimed decades so far in the 2020s. He is one of the, there are not enough words in order to try and sum up this man's career. So we are going to do a fun little draft today in order to draft some of his more notable movies. But first, I'm going to introduce you guys to the panel that I've assembled in order to draft that. I'm going to want each of you guys to talk about your own experience with Nicolas Cage over the years, because I feel like his career, it has been all over the place, to say the least. Starting to my left, Mr. Jack Uffer, the CEO of Sex. Happy to have you here. What are you looking to get out of this draft, and what is your relationship with Nicolas Cage, the phenomenon he is?
So my relationship with Nicolas Cage just stems from the memes, because we all grew up on the internet, early YouTube, and we've seen a lot of those compilations of Nick Cage freaking out, doing crazy stuff in his movies. So that's my first taste of Nicolas Cage as an actor. But then eventually I started watching some of his performances, and I started to really understand his versatility, the way he would constantly change from character to character each movie. But I'm really excited to rank some of Cage's best performances and his worst performances. So I'm really happy to be here, man. Thank you.
That's the thing about Cage, man. You got to take the bad with the good, because you never know, you might get some gems in there. I have seen some truly terrible Nick Cage performances that I will never, ever, ever forget, to say the least. Him pissing fire in Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Moving on down, Mac, the Mac himself. Mac movie reviews. Unfortunately, we couldn't get our fellow Oreo co-host here, Rod. He unfortunately had a business meeting, so he was unable to attend. But you made it, which is what's important. So, dude, break it down. What is your earliest memory of seeing Nicolas Cage, and what is it that you're hoping to get out of this draft today?
So I don't know if y'all know this. I'm actually a Nicolas Cage aficionado. I legitimately will say, he, next to De Niro, he's legitimately my favorite actor of all time. Growing up, watching National Treasure, and then you get, Jack said, the meme culture. I mean, there's a movie in here that I'm going to draft that y'all are going to be yeah, Mac would do that. And I think, it might have something to do with a certain insect of a stinging variety, but we'll not go there and say that. But I think with him, no matter, I'm so happy now that he's at a point in his career where people are starting to appreciate he's a really talented actor, because he was really stuck in the directed DVD land of the 2010s. But I'm hoping to just showcase and kind of explain my love for maybe some of the more odd choices I'm going to make in this draft with Nicolas Cage.
At some point, I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia page and just go through all of the direct-to-DVD movies that he did throughout the 2010s.
There is so many.
So many. He was doing 5 movies a year. What the hell? How broke was he? How badly did he get money?
He paid IRS, that's why.
Taxes, yeah, man.
Man, they will get you. They will get you. He was I'm not going to let what happened to Wesley happen to me. I am going to pay back those taxes. And I think he did. I hope so. Mr. Pat Sweeney, the Motion Sweeney himself. Good to have you here, man. What's it called?
Good to be here. Yeah.
Yes. Break down your relationship with Nicolas Cage over the years and what you're hoping to get out of this draft.
First of all, sorry about the airplanes. I live next to LaGuardia Airport. I'm going to do my best here. But yeah, I grew up, in the '90s. So I grew up before Cage became a bit of a joke or a meme. So I grew up on watching those mid '90s action movies. The Rock and Face Off and Con Air and all those other things. And then he started doing more dramatic stuff that I didn't see until a little bit later, leaving Las Vegas and whatever. And you get into the early 2000s, and he was still great. And then, the taxing problem happened, and then he just nosedived. And it was sad to see. So it was upsetting more than just funny. I was just like, man, what happened? This guy was legitimately great, and now it's like, what happened? So it's been nice to see him kind of return to form, mostly in the past couple of years. Pretty much, kind of has. He'll still throw out like make a paycheck, but no one's bothered by it now.
Oh yeah, he'll still do a sympathy for the devil or the surfer or what was the ride with the devil, I think was one. He's got some nuts ones. I have to go through this because we brought it up enough. So just in the 2010s alone, he starts off pretty good with Kick-Ass and the Sorcerer's Apprentice in 2010. I like both those movies. 2011 is Season of the Witch, Drive Angry, Seeking Justice, Trespass, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. 2012, he's only in one movie, Stolen. 2013, The Croods, Frozen Ground, and Joe. 2014, this is where it gets fun.
Joe is good.
Yeah. all directed DVD except for, so we have Rage, Outcast, Left Behind, Dying of the Light. 2015, The Runner, Pay the Ghost. 2016, The Trust, Dog Eat Dog, Snowden, USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage, and Army of One. 2017, Arsenal, Vengeance, A Love Story, Inconceivable, and Mom and Dad. 2018, oh man, Mandy, Looking Glass, The Humanity Bureau, 211, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is great, Between Worlds, 2019, Love Antosha, A Score to Settle, Colorado Space, Running with the Devil, Kill Chain, Primal, Grand Isle, and he's also in a movie called Jiu-Jitsu that comes out in 2020. So needless to say,
it could go either way.
It really could go any way with this. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this, to say the least. So I split this draft into 6 categories is what we're going to do. So we got 80s, 90s, 2000s and beyond, legitimately great, so bad it's good, and wild card category. So I have popped up this little thing over on Wheel Decide over here. So we'll do a little spin there in order to determine who goes first. So, shall it be? All right. So, Mac, you are going to go first, and then I will click, and then I will spin it again in order to determine who goes second, because that will determine the order in which we are going around. So, Mac, you get the first draft pick, and then going second. I'm going to spin it again because that's going to mess up the order.
Dom again. Come on.
God damn you, Pat! One more time. Fuck it. All right. So here's what we are going to do. So we'll do it. Yeah, because that's going to mess up the order. So... Jack, I'll have you go next after Mac, so it'll be Mac, then Jack.
That's what I get.
Me, then Pat. Yep, that's what you get, Pat.
Okay, all right.
Pat, now you're last.
Fair enough.
All right, Mac, you got the first draft pick on the board. Like I said, you know the 6 categories. Which category are you picking first, and what are you drafting?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the 80s because I know that's been a big topic of discussion. And actually, my mom and I did a Nick Cage watch along the last month, so we have a very good way of kind of determining which movie we would go to. And for the 80s category, I'm going to draft a movie that pretty much kickstarted all the memes, and that's Vampire's Kiss.
All right.
Like, Vampire's Kiss is like, first of all, when Chris Stuckman was actually good, shots, he whenever he did his bad movie, he was just like, I never misfiled anything. Not once, not one time. Like, I think it's like, it was Nick Cage before Nick Cage, because like you mentioned at the time, because you probably have someone else as Raising Arizona is like where he got his big claim to fame with. But Vampire's Kiss is actually like a really good, like kind of I call it a prototype Twilight movie because he falls in love with a vampire, like Nick Cage in a Twilight movie. But it's very like it's a It's pretty funny. Like, it's actually a very funny film, and I just think in terms of like his intensity, like this is probably like one of the more early versions of him overacting. Like even like his later movies when he overacts, I don't think he ever hits the level like this. Maybe like a couple movies like this level is just absolutely crazy. Because I think there's a scene where he's in the car. He's like, those contracts are in the goddamn files. And it's like, are you okay? Shut up, bitch. I'm like, I love it. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Vampire's Kiss. Like, it's actually like a good vampire film. It does the trope pretty well. The thing with every Nicolas Cage movie, I'm probably gonna drop a line that's like I remember. And that line, he's just like, shut up, bitch.
I don't know what was funnier, the fact that the line itself, or the fact that like the audio froze and it sounded like robotic when you said it. It's like,
Great stuff.
oh my god! Not even just so many great memories. I have still not had a chance to watch this, but so many great memories and great memes that came out of this. Him wandering through the streets, carrying the thing of wood, and this being like, "I'm a vampire." That's great. And then the whole ranting and raving to the therapist about the A B C D E F G. It's great. This is a Nick Cage. This is an early Nick Cage classic. I remember watching like when I first saw the clips of this, being like, "This can't possibly be a real movie. No way." And then it was, and it just gets better from there. Jack, your first pick, going over to you. What is your choice, and which category are you selecting?
So can I still like pick the 80s?
Yeah, you can do whatever category you want. Like you're not locked into a category based on whoever picked first.
Okay, all right, good. Because I haven't seen a lot of like Nick Cage like performances like in the 80s, but I've seen like the big like heavy hitters. And I'm just gonna go with like Raising Arizona mainly because of the fact that like this is one of those like Cage performances where you're just like, whoa, like he can actually like fucking act. And just like the zaniness of just like the Coen brothers around that time where they started to really understand like how to make like a screwball comedy like crime caper. And I think like Nick Cage like in this film is just like on another level. I've seen it like a few times. Like it's one of those films where I constantly like go back to it just because of like the Nick Cage performance. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with like Raising Arizona as like my first pick.
Perfect choice. Yeah, I saw this movie recently. Really, really fun. Slapstick. It's funny because this become like a notable conversation point around the Coen brothers, where after they split up, people will like go back through their filmography and be like, oh, okay, now we know which of the movies are Joel's and which of the movies were Ethan's. And this is so obviously an Ethan movie, like this, Burn After Reading, like all like the really, really silly, over the top slapsticky ones, like Lady Killers, and like those are so obviously Ethan. But yeah, this like Cage is really funny, and he's a really like good combination of like kind of everything that like kind of we knew that he was capable of, and also surprisingly like I would say withheld performance, because he's almost like, as wacky as he is in this movie, he's almost like the straight man to every other character who is just ridiculous and over the top. I'm gonna shift it up for my first choice. I'm going with 90s. I'm going with probably my favorite of what's called the Nick Cage Insanity Trilogy in the 90s, where famously in the 90s, he won the Oscar for Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas, and then followed up immediately with The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off. And so my first choice is going to be, I want to take his face off. Face Off. This is a movie truly unlike any other. Unlike any other. You got John Woo directing. You got Nicolas Cage as a super terrorist. You got John Travolta as the guy who is trying to catch him. The opening sequence of this movie is Nick Cage shooting John Travolta's son at 10 years old in slow motion. That is the opening scene of
with
this
a mustache.
With the mustache, exactly. With the fakest looking fake mustache ever.
Yeah.
And then they switch faces for a plot that is so ludicrous that I feel like I'm going to have a headache just trying to explain it. But of course, naturally, things go wrong, and Cage ends up imitating Travolta. And you have a movie where Cage and Travolta ultimately have to end up playing each other. And I think one of the funniest behind-the-scenes things that I saw was Nicolas Cage. And watching Nicolas Cage talk about any one of his movies is always a treat, because he talks about it so seriously that even if he's talking about the most ridiculous thing possible, like he talks about why he chose to name his son Kal-El, and it's really like sweet and heartfelt and intimate, but it's fucking hysterical because it's Nick Cage explaining it. And he was explaining how, like, hey, you know, me and John, we would go back and, you know, there's a subtle thing to where, you know, we are literally wearing each other's faces. And it's just, you know, with the Nick Cage voice, it's incredible. This movie has magnet boots. This movie has Gina Gershon and Nick Cassavetes playing a brother-sister incest couple. You have literally an ornate container full of every drug imaginable that I have literally modeled my weed tin after. Like, this movie has everything. Like you have John Travolta giving such iconic lines as, "We'll break the case when the case breaks." Like, it's great. It's just great. And Nicolas Cage is just, again, the irony being that for a wacky Nick Cage late 90s movie, Nick Cage is playing this calm straight man for most of it, because most of it he's playing Travolta as Cage, and it's Travolta that gets to have the fun. But the few moments where Nick Cage gets to go unhinged, like the moment where they drag in the doctor who did the face surgery, and they're like, "Well, what do you want?" And you only see like the behind the glass mirror shot of him with the face missing, and he's like, "Take one
spaghetti
goddamn
face."
yes.
Yeah, he's got
It's great. Face off. And when nobody picked up, I'm like, yeah, I have to pick my first choice. So yeah, Pat, going over to you. Since we're doing snake order, so we'll go back through you. So you got 2 picks. So what are going to be your first pick?
Okay. Just with Face Off, I still quote the one bald guy in the middle of the party when they're shooting up his place. My place getting fucked up, whatever like that. I do that at every party. I just, for no reason, like, like the next morning actor. I used to do it in college all the time, for no reason. If I can throw that in, I will.
It's incredible.
Okay, so I'm gonna be a nice guy because Mac mentioned about one of his favorite like bad ones. So I'm not gonna take that because he seemed like he really wanted to talk about it. So I'm gonna take a bad one though, and I'm gonna go with Season of the Witch.
Yes,
this
is so bad. It's good category.
This is terrible. I don't even know if that's even correct. This is bad, and it's upsetting for a lot of reasons because it's got some good people in it.
There's a lot of people in this movie.
There's Ron Perlman, I think Claire Foy. Stephen Graham's in it because he's in everything. Yep. I think Chris Lee is in it, if I remember correctly. Just phoning it in. I forgot what year it was. Hold on, what year was it?
This was 2011.
2011. Yep. Yeah, this is bad. It was directed by Dominic Sena, who did I think Gone in 60 Seconds and Swordfish. So it's just like, should have been decent. It wasn't. It was terrible. And it was the ultimate, throwing on a wig, throwing out whatever accent he's trying to do, whatever medieval, whatever's going on. Yeah, it's just real. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just terrible. Like, it's all around just awful. And that's all. I'm not going into more. Yeah, I'm so glad he's paid his taxes. Yeah,
that was the movie that actually made him go to do the straight DVD because he said he was so burned out by Hollywood. So that movie made him die from Hollywood to go to be reborn.
Yep. And then you got another choice, Pat.
Oh, then I'll use 80s because there's not many. And I'll just take a good one, Moonstruck. He's not the lead in it, but it is a good movie. Norman Jewison and Cher. It's a good romantic movie. He's really good in the supporting role. I think he made it right after Raising Arizona, so this was like starting of him like getting a bit of a little more notice into the early 90s. Yeah, it's a fun romantic movie. Still holds up, and it was one of those that you could point to when things got bad. That look, this is one of those where like, yeah, he was really great, and he was really and whatever, and he could also not be the front, the front and center of a movie. He could help, in like supporting roles and stuff like that. So so those are my 2 for now.
All right, perfect, awesome. All right, so going back over to me. I'm going to get my 80s one out of the way, and I will admit this is totally going to be a cheat, so you guys can feel free to bash me for it if you want, but because I quite literally have no other choice because I have not seen any of the other 80s movies. I meant to watch Moonstruck and Vampire's Kiss, and I was not able to watch any of them. I also didn't watch Valley Girl, which I've heard is like kind of like a quite notable early performance of his that Quentin Tarantino really likes. So I'm going to totally cheat, and for my 80s choice, I'm picking Fast Times at Ridgemont High, in which he has no lines. It is I believe, his feature debut performance in anything ever. I just remember watching this movie for the first time, and I obviously knew about Judge Reinhold and Sean Penn's iconic performance of Spicoli and all that, and Forrest Whitaker is in this movie, and I'm seeing all these people pop up. Eric Stoltz is randomly in it. And then I'm at the scene where Judge Reinhold is working at the burger spot, and I'm like, wait a minute. I recognize the guy who he's standing next to. I'm like, that's Nicolas Cage. And then I'm like, wait, is this the first? And I'm like, he looks really young. Is this the first thing that he was ever in? Like I said, he has no lines. He just stands there with a doofy looking face, working the burger stand, and he's not even Nicolas Cage yet. He's still Nicolas Coppola. But because this movie was such a notable feature debut for a ton of different people, like I said, Anthony Edwards is in this. Pamela Springsteen has a random pop up at this. Eric Stoltz is one of the stoner buddies. Forrest Whitaker is Charles Jefferson. There's a ton of people who got their start in this. So yeah, I feel like that's notable enough. So Fast Times at Ridgemont High is going to be my 80s choice.
It counts. It counts. That was my third choice of the 80s behind Moonstruck and Raising Arizona. So,
we did it. We got the 80s. We got the hardest category out of the way for all of us. All right. So Jack, now the fun really begins. So Jack, going over to you. What is your next choice?
Okay. So can I choose the 2010s and can I choose something that's bad?
So are you going to do this for 2000s and beyond, or are you going to do this for so bad it's good? Because you have those two options.
Okay. I'm trying to think because
I'm basically factoring the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s all into one category. So, but you have those two options. If it qualifies for the so bad it's good, I'm going to leave it up to you as far as which one of those two you want to put it in.
Okay. I think for like because I'm trying to like figure out because like his whole actually, you know what? Screw it. Let me do like the so bad it's good because I'm just gonna like throw it out there because I know like this movie's awful. But it's just for the memes, man. I'm going with the Wicker Man.
Yeah,
I'm going with the fucking Wicker Man.
Oh man,
I'm going with the fucking Wicker Man.
The first steal of the show because I know Jack. I know you really wanted that one. This is not the first time that Jack has done this. He did this to me on our first ever draft with fucking no other choice.
Yep. I gotta pull that card
Wicker
right now.
Man. I just saw this recently. This is a fucking gem of a movie.
Yeah,
this movie is awesome.
This shit is like a dirty crack house movie. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I've seen like the memes like a million times when originally came out and I didn't know like the context of like the entire film, but then I finally started to like watch it. I think like around like my college years, like my undergrad years, and I was just like, oh, now I understand why this movie is like terrible. And I did that, and I also watched the original Wicker Man to kind of like compare both of them. And
you're just
yeah,
like, what
obviously
the hell happened?
Yeah, like what the hell happened? You have like Nicolas Cage just like trapped in like this area, and he's just like wrecking havoc. And there's like a moment where
how to get burned.
Yeah, there's like a moment where he just like dressed up in like a bear suit and just starts punching people.
Should be in his in memoriam. That should be in it. Yeah, that's just thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a classic in like a really terrible sense, and I'm just like really happy this movie exists because it's just one of those movies you can just like pull out of like nowhere if you're just like trying to like find a movie to like watch with your friends. But yeah, this one is just it's a classic.
So there were a couple things that I wrote for this review when I first saw it. I'm like, because there were a couple things that I realized, right? Because you got to take the time period into context whenever you talk about these movies. This movie came out in 2006, right? Only 2 years after M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. And if you look at those two movies next to each other, you're like, oh my god, Neil LaBute, because this movie also is famously directed by Neil LaBute, very famous playwright. And I'm like, oh my god, they were making fun of The Village with this. That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing that I noticed is I'm like, wow, this movie in the 21st century post Me Too is insane. I am amazed that nobody's capitalized on this. You have an entirely this movie is all about feminist revenge against the patriarchy. You have an entire community basically run by women. All the men are subservient and basically neutered, who have been on the run and settled this community after the Salem witch trials, send their agents out into the world to seduce dumb men trying to get laid, procreate with them, and then every couple of years concoct this ludicrous scheme to lure them to the island and sacrifice them to appease the goddess. Like this, it is insane the levels to which this movie's going to for a shitty 2000s Nicolas Cage movie that's a remake of a much better horror movie from the 70s. And I was also like, Ari Aster wishes he could have done this with Midsommar, because once again, Ari Aster is a talentless hack who can only make things appear good on camera, and that's about it. But yeah, this movie is an absolute gem. It's an absolute gem of a movie. It truly is.
I saw it in theaters.
Oh, no way.
It was it was awesome. It was awesome. Everyone caught on pretty quickly that it was not good.
Yeah.
People had brought in like alcohol and like whatever, and it was just no one gave a shit.
Because I feel like as soon as the truck hits the car and it's on fire, that pretty clearly clues you in as far as what movie you're in. Also,
when he punched the girl in the bear suit, the whole place like lost their shit. And I was just like,
why is it burned?
I was initially in there. I had seen the Wicker Man, so I was initially pissed. I was just like, this is like, this is bullshit. This is terrible. But eventually, at some point, you just got to sit there and go, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
And the other thing too that I didn't realize is the famous "Not the Bees." That's not in the theatrical cut. That's that's in the unrated like extended cut, which I didn't realize. The whole not the bees and killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey. Those are both in the extended cut. This movie's amazing. Oh man! All right, Matt, going over to you. What is your next choice? Since Jack so ceremoniously stole Wicker Man from you.
You forgot another classic line in that movie that is with the bee. He's like, "You bitches, killing me won't bring me back to goddamn honey." You bitches. It's like that. Oh my god, damn it, Jack, you fucked me up so bad.
Man, I was being nice. I was leaving it for you.
I was like,
you can't be nice. You can't be nice when it comes to drafting. You got to be vicious.
Hey, I had Season of the Witch right in my pocket. I was okay.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do mine just in order because I'm the OCD in me. I'm gonna do the 90s, and I'm gonna do a movie which I generally think is, oh my gosh, I think it is probably like the best movie, one of the best movies about Alcatraz, and that's The Rock.
Hell
with
yeah.
Sean Connery and Ed Harris.
Hell yeah.
This movie is like the peak, like Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer. This is like Jerry Bruckheimer at his best. It's like, we're just gonna take all these like action cliches and we're gonna make it into like a kick-ass summer movie, and that's the basis of what he's made his entire career. That man is fucking rich. But The Rock is so awesome, man. Like the fact of like Nick Cage is like, he's still subdued, but he started to get into those Nick Cageisms, because I think this was a year before Face Off came out.
Yes, this was 96.
So we were like, it was like the beta version of what he would become in Face Off, but he was still like a nerdy guy, especially like his character and Sean Connery, they bounced off really well. Like, I think you gotta forget, like, oh yeah, Sean Connery, this is technically his movie, but then, you know, we're supposed to introduce kind of like Nicolas Cage as him being more important to stopping the plot on The Rock. And listen, he has the best line exchange with Tony Todd, where he's like, "Do you like the John soft rock?" He's like, "I don't like soft ass shit." He's like, "Well, that's you. It's the Rocket Man." He's like, "How do you like that shit sound?" Like, it's just awesome. Yeah. Like, it is a fun action movie. It's actually the basis for a lot of for all you Call of Duty fans in Modern Warfare 2, when they break into the Gulag to get Captain Price out, the scene in the shower when you with the riot shield, that was actually inspired by The Rock. And I absolutely love this movie so much. It is like a legit, like, fun 90s movie, and definitely something where it's like, hey, Nicolas Cage is here, watch out for him.
Definitely, yeah. Oh, you forgot about like possibly the greatest line exchange in possibly all of 90s history, not just that movie, where it's like, "Oh, I'll do my best. You're bashed. Losers always whine about their bash. Oh, and fuck the prom queen." Just gem stuff. Also, I'm constantly between this and Pain and Gain as far as the greatest movie that Michael Bay ever directed. And I'll also throw Bad Boys 2 into that conversation as well, because Bad Boys 2,
yeah,
the one action sequence where the camera is spinning around, I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out how Michael Bay did that. Like, I think I figured it out, but I still have no idea. Especially since he sort of replicated it for the first Transformers. But I digress. All right, Jack, going back over to you. What is your next pick?
So I'm gonna go for the 90s, and I'm actually gonna go with Wild at Heart by David Lynch.
Damn it, another steal!
Yeah. I'm sorry, because it's one of those movies where the first time I saw it, I was just like, this is weird, and like, I don't know why like David Lynch casted Nicolas Cage in this movie, but then after I started watching more David Lynch movies and started to kind of like go deeper into like his philosophy, and then I went back and watched Wild at Heart, I realized, oh wait, this is actually brilliant. Like the whole like Elvis imagery is just like so fascinating to me, and just the way it also subverts like the Wizard of Oz in like some moments of like the film, and then just like also him going toe to toe with Willem Dafoe. Like that's just a wild like thing to kind of like visualize, at least for me. But I think this is one of his most like underrated performances, aside from another movie that came out in the 90s that I don't know if you're gonna like talk about it or someone's gonna steal it, but if they do, like, yeah, like we got to talk about that one also as well. But I really dug this this film, and I haven't seen it in quite a while, but I think it's like underrated, like David Lynch, and like one of the, like the better like Nick Cage performances of like the 90s.
I just remember watching this in college, not really knowing what the hell was going on, because this was like, this might have been the first David Lynch movie I ever saw, and being like, oh, so is this David Lynch's idea of Bonnie and Clyde? Okay. Like, I just did not know what to make of it. And I was going to pick this for my legit great category, but since you stole that from me, I got to go with another one for my legit great category. And this is going to shock some people because I could have gone with a couple ones for this. But I realized that I can save those for my 2000s category if I so choose. But for my legit great category, I'm going to zap because a lot of people I feel like are not sure what to make of this movie. But this movie I think is actually like legitimately like a really good movie. It's got like kind of a little bit of elements of camp in it, but considering the subject matter and considering the direction that this movie could have gone, I'm actually really, really happy that I quite thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm going with 1999's 8mm for my legit great category. That's right. Joel Schumacher directing, Nicolas Cage, young Joaquin Phoenix, 1 year before Gladiator, Peter Stormare, James Gandolfini, Chris Bauer from The Wire. Just a really, really solid and surprisingly dark noir that follows Nick Cage as a private investigator who is set to investigate a rich widow's husband's death, and gets into the world of snuff filmmaking that Joaquin Phoenix's young character has to like kind of take him through. Again, this is a movie that I was fully expected to just be schlocky and campy, considering that this is what we come to expect of Cage from the 90s. But I was actually quite surprised by like how dark and how like kind of low-key traumatizing it came. And the death scenes in this are like actually really like heartbreaking and kind of gross. And Gandolfini, you can see in this like kind of the early pre-elements that would lead to Tony Soprano. But yeah, this is a movie like Joel Schumacher. Obviously, he has the reputation because of the Batman movies that he did. But Joel Schumacher is actually quite a good genre filmmaker. You know, the original Flatliners, all the 80s movies that he did, St. Elmo's Fire, Lost Boys is genuinely incredible. And this, I feel like, was the cap off on like an overall a really, really solid otherwise career. So yeah, I'm going with 8mm, a movie that I only watched because they were doing on the rewatchables, and that I ended up like really, really enjoying a lot more than I did. And I do think there are some really, really good legit points to it. So yeah, my legit great choice, 8mm. So Pat, back over to you. You have two choices once again.
Okay. I'm gonna all right, I'm gonna put in the great category. I'm gonna take adaptation. Which is easy for me. Spike Jonze has not made enough movies. I think Where the Wild Things Are bombing probably really really helped kibosh that. I mean, he did Her after, but still. But yeah, adaptation is just. I think it's a beautiful movie as this airplane goes over. Give me 1 second. Cage has a double performance. A person sure of themselves and a person not sure of themselves. It's just a movie that feels like it writes itself as it's going, which is sort of the idea, which is incredible writing because then it feels like the characters are dictating the plot, not the other way around. Charlie Kaufman script. I don't know. This movie, Chris Cooper and Meryl Streep are great in it too, and Judy Greer. It's just Nick Cage, but he gets to still do all his Nick Cage stuff. You know, his constant like frantic and his sweating and all that instead, but it's somehow great instead of stupid. So I don't know. He somehow finds that line, and this is one of those. It's like he uses his powers for good every now and then.
Yeah, I also love the line too, where
Brian
Cox portrays famous screenwriting author Robert McKee.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, the whole
the scene where he's like breaking down, no conflict. Like, have you looked at the world? There's conflict every day. Like, that's great. Really underrated.
Yeah.
And then,
hey, I'm waiting for like TikTok to like take
real.
that speech
I'm
up and find it and put some bullshit music behind it. No one has.
They haven't yet. All right, and then your second choice.
Yeah. Oh right. Second, so I took that for great.
So right now you have great, so bad it's good in the 80s. So you still have a 90s choice.
No, I did so bad it's good. Oh, all right. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna then do in my 2000s and beyond. I'm going to take Pig.
All right.
Which just came out a few years ago.
Nice.
Movie that initially looked like a John Wick promo thing. It was just gonna be, they killed his pig, they killed his dog. I'm gonna kill everybody. Instead, it's this introspective. It still follows that formula of like getting to everyone to get to the final boss that did this, but instead it's just all introspective. And there's apparently a chef underworld, and a high boss, and yet. Best scene in that movie is him sitting at the diner with the other chef and just explaining how the other guy lost himself, and it's just a beautiful movie, and it was just the biggest return to form for him, where I was just like, this was the guy I remember like in the 90s that I just loved as an actor, and how he could be so subtle on top of everything. It's just a fantastic movie, and one of the reasons I'm still looking forward to that Robin Hood movie that comes out in like a month. the same director, and I'm just hoping, so yeah. So
I will say, so
Pig is my
I
2000s.
didn't get a chance to watch Pig. However, that guy, Michael Sarnowski, directed my favorite Quiet Place movie so far. Quiet Place Day One. Love that one. That is my absolute favorite Quiet Place movie so far. My 2000s and beyond, because you took my first choice, but that's fine. I got a couple different ones that I could go with this one. And I am actually going to zag. I'm not going to take Kick-Ass, despite the fact that I do love that movie. And I am instead going to take a movie that I saw only a couple years ago. It's funny, I was actually doing it in order to catch up on some Ridley Scott movies. It's honestly kind of funny when you consider that Ridley Scott directed this movie. I'm going with Matchstick Men. Really, really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love con men movies. Nick Cage
movie.
and Sam Rockwell as a pair of con men. All of a sudden, Nick Cage is visited by a girl who claims to be his daughter. And I started to get a little bit clued in because I looked at her and I'm like, that girl's not 14. I don't know why. There was something about it. I'm like, that girl's not 14. And then it turned out I was right at the end. Cage is being conned the whole time. Even though this is a pretty standard movie, you still have another famous Nick Cage freak out when he's at the pharmacy trying to get his meds for his OCD. And then he was like, hey, buddy, you ever heard of a line? He's like, hey, you ever been dragged onto the sidewalk and take a pissed blood? It's great. I love this movie. This movie, it's so much fun. Dude, Sam Rockwell doing another strange little dance. And I love Sam Rockwell's note at the end when Nick Cage wakes up in the fake hospital and finds his way out onto the roof. And then he sees the note from Rockwell and be like, yeah, sorry I did all this to you. I love you, man. It's Sam Rockwell. It's like you can't not hate him, But this movie is great. It's kind of insane again that Ridley Scott followed up Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, and Hannibal with this movie. Like, that's insane to me. And he directs it like an absolute pro back when Ridley Scott actually knew how to direct good movies. Matchstick Men. That's my 2000s and beyond choice. So just to do a little recap. So Jack, you still need so you have got So Bad It's Good. You have 90s and you have 80s. So Jack, you still need Legit Great, Wild Card, and 2000s and beyond. So which of those three are you going to go with next?
Okay, so I'll just go 2000s and beyond first. I'm going to go with probably I think top 3 best Cage performances in my own eyes. And I'm going to go with Adaptation.
Already got taken.
Oh, damn.
Pat already took it.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. I got cornered.
Yes,
but
no. The tables have turned.
Okay, how about this? What about Bad Lieutenant? Port of Call.
That works. That works.
Okay. Yeah, because
talk about it.
I'm not gonna lie. Sure, the original Bad Lieutenant, it's a classic, whatever. But I think this other Bad Lieutenant is actually kind of mad underrated, and I think it's probably because of the fact that you just stuck Nicolas Cage in a Werner Herzog movie with Eva Mendes and Exhibit. What? That's just a wild sentence, and it just works. It just totally works. And I don't understand how and why, but it just makes total sense. And the way Werner Herzog creepily tries to direct his film with crime precision for a little bit, and then eventually just goes off the wall. It's wild. And I haven't seen it in a couple years, but I remember watching it. And I was just yeah, I don't know what to make with the entire film as a whole, but Cage, he's really locked into the character. And yeah, I think it's also one of his most underrated performances of the 2000s, if I have to kind of think about that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. One of my favorite scenes. One of my favorite scenes in this is when he's he's running antlers like a gazelle, when he's just tripping his balls off on whatever drug he's on in there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun. All right, so Mac, you actually still have 4 choices left, so I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to let you take 2 choices this time, and then so when we go back over to Pat, you'll have 1. So, Mac, you have 2 choices. You still have a lot because I believe you have only drafted 80s and 90s so far. So you still have 2000 and beyond, Legit Great, So Bad It's Good, and Wild Card. So what are going to be your next 2 choices?
All right, so first I'm going to do Legit Good. I'm going to talk about the movie that actually was hey, it's a celebration of Nick Cage. I'm going to talk about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Nice.
You want to talk about a movie that I read that they had to convince him. They pitched him this movie a few times. He kept saying no because he thought that they were trying to make fun of him. But then when he read it again, he realized, oh, wait, this is not only is it a celebration of just film in general, if you're a film buff like us, you're going to appreciate everything about this movie because they reference other movies. But if you're just a Nick Cage fan in general, this is just a celebration of Nicolas Cage. This is something where it's we know the absurdity, we know the myth. This is pretty much him playing Nick Cage with NIC Cage. And it's just like everything that the memes, the rumors, the myths about him, it's all congealed into this character. And him and Pedro Pascal have some of the best chemistry. That I don't think anyone really brings up that this might be Pedro Pascal, one of his best movies.
Oh no, it is the best thing he's ever been in movie wise.
Like he has such great chemistry with Nicolas Cage. It's obviously funny. Like the scene when they're high in town running away, like, no, you have to go out without me. He's like, oh, I could have just gone around the wall. Like, there's so many moments in this movie that's really funny. And like I said too, it's mostly like there's a lot of definitely like it's a pure celebration of Cage. Everything we love about Nick Cage, like he has an imaginary friend named Little Nicky because he's like, because I'm Nick fucking whoa Cage, and he kisses himself like, and that's not any Nick Cage. I don't know what else is, and honestly, I'm so like happy. I'm surprised that this movie doesn't get brought up more. Like it kind of like came out in 2022, and then like that's it. I had it on DVD, but I have it digital. Like it was one of the only films I actually wanted to go buy in person because it's that good. I love Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent because it's a celebration of Nick Cage.
Everyone gives Top Gun Maverick credit for bringing movies back in 2022. I'm like, nah, it was this movie, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, because that was fucking great. And,
I wish Cage played Grogu.
right? That would have been awesome.
That would have been great. I would improve that movie so much.
And then Mac, what is going to be your second choice?
So I'm gonna do so bad that it's good. I think this movie actually isn't terrible, but I think like just the concept of it is so absurd, but it's so like good, and that's Mom and Dad with him and Selma Blair.
Wow. Okay.
Like I almost put it like
wow.
legit good, but then dude, this is one of those things where it's like
it's reaching into the
you're
bag.
You're one of only three people who I know who has actually seen this movie. So please break down what exactly is the premise of this movie.
So it is pretty much, think about it as there like is this mysterious radio frequency, TV frequency that goes out, and all the parents literally in this town are confirmed to be the world, or we don't even know in the world, it's just a town. They all want to murder only their children. That is legit. So if you have,
it was like the opposite of like Children of the Corn almost.
Yes, and it was like a thing of like, okay, well, if it's not your kid, they won't go after you, because there's a scene where they have a like a cleaning lady. She kills her son, but doesn't touch their kids. And then it starts off with like the family is already rifty because it's the baby of the family, the kid, and then you have the older sister, and then you have both Selma Blair and Nicolas Cage. They're like, oh, we were so youthful, we were so fun. It kind of leads to levels like maybe we're not happy now, and then this whole thing happens where all the parents of the town are going to kill their kids. It's just like this weird, like, what's going on, everything like that. And of course, if you've known Mom and Dad, you've probably seen the slap of God meme where Nicolas Cage like just smacks the shit out of the kid in the crowd. Like the best scene in the movie. But there's another scene too, because like, first of all, I think it's just Nicolas Cage at his absolute, like, just most psychotic. Like, this is something where as soon as he's already, like, unhinged, because there's a scene where he's smashing the pool table because someone was like, you can't build a pool table. It's like, you take the hokey pokey and you throw it all around.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I was like, what? I was like, okay. And then there's a scene where Nicolas Cage is the first to come home. He does the slap. And then he goes... The kids locked themselves in the basement, and Selma Blair's already been affected because she was like wondering what's going on because her friend was like going crazy, and like Selma Blair's like, "Hey, come out the basement!" Like, and the daughter's like, "No, I don't want to." And Nicolas Cage's like, "Your motherfucking mother said open the door, and motherfuckers, you're gonna open this motherfucking door." Like, I love this, and then like the funniest twist is that Nicolas Cage's parents are supposed to come visit, and they try to kill Nicolas Cage. It's like what? Wait, because I think his dad actually. I'm trying to figure out. Let me see.
Oh my god, I can't breathe. This is so good. I have to watch this movie immediately.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty crazy.
Dude, it is like absolutely like. Lance Henriksen was his dad. He just comes in.
What?
Lance Henriksen is Nicolas Cage's dad. Just like he opens the door, he's like, "Dad, what you doing?" He like pepper sprays. He's like, "Ah!" It's like what? It's like he's like, "Oh, hey, grandkids, I'm gonna kill your father real quick, 1 second." And it's so, and then like it ends like they never explain what this signal was, what started it, because they killed the grandparents get killed, and then they tie up the parents, and it seems like they're like coming down or still like because they're still like aware of what they're doing, and they kind of use that to advantage, try to kill the kids. But the kids tie them up, and they're like, you know what's going on, and everything, blah 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 blah, blah. And they're like, they're like, oh, we love you and everything like that. And then Nicolas Cage says, but sometimes we just want to, and then it just cuts. That's the end of the movie. Like we don't know how it happened, why it happened, and it's just like we never will find out. And I know people were so like iffy on it. Or this movie is generally like it's so unhinged, and I'm like, this is definitely just something. I'm like, if Cage just saw the concept, like, hey, you're gonna be a dad trying to kill your kids, we can let you do whatever.
He's
you
like,
want.
done. I'm in. Where do I?
Yeah,
sign?
oh my god, yeah, it's perfect. I absolutely love it. So I'll go mom and dad with like so bad it's good.
That's incredible. Just you breaking down was worth. Just you breaking down the premise of that movie was worth this entire episode. All right, Jack, going back over to you. I believe you have 2 left still. I'm just going through. So I believe that you still have legit great and wild card left. So which of those 2 are you gonna pick next?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with legit great. I'm probably gonna pick Dream Scenario.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, this one was great.
Drama director.
Yeah. So basically, I saw this at a film festival like a couple years ago, and I was at kind of like a point with like Nick Cage where I was just like, I don't know what this man is doing, but he's in an A24 like film, and he's doing something crazy with like the role where he's basically a professor who starts to appear in everybody's dreams. And it starts out pretty nice where, you know, it's just like cute. He's just like, oh, like I'm a celebrity now. Like people like me. I'm not like the schlub type of like father that I used to be before. But then eventually he starts to ramp up and he starts to become too toxic for society. And then everybody starts to cancel him, which was hilarious. But yeah, this one was like so funny. And like the way like Nick Cage is like fully committed with like the whole idea of like him appearing in like everybody's dreams is just like so cool. And it has probably one of the best like fart like jokes that I've ever seen like on film in quite a while, and it's like so awkward and like hilarious. And the first time I saw it, I was just like, oh man, like this brother's done. Like he cannot like catch a break. But yeah, man, like this one was just, it's hilarious. I think it's like one of like the better like Cage performances of like the 2010s, aside from like other films that maybe some of you guys might mention. But yeah, like this one was just fantastic.
I had a feeling you were going to pick this one, but this is good because this means that my 2 choices that I wanted are now available to me, because the 2 most fun categories, So Bad It's Good and Wild Card, are the only 2 categories that I have left. There's a reason why I purposefully picked the first 4 kind of more boring categories. But now the question is, because I have my 2 ideal movies that I wanted for this category. So now, which one do I go with for which category? Fuck it. My So Bad It's Good choice, Willy's Wonderland. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. So this was a movie that famously an old friend of ours, who unfortunately is no longer a friend of ours, recommended. It came out ironically in the same year as what's it called? It came out the same year as Pig, ultimately. 2021, kind of a comeback year for Cage in a way, between Pig, this movie, and then Prisoners of the Ghostland, which is a movie that nobody saw. And I didn't really know what to make of it because I wasn't really aware of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I didn't really know how it worked. I'm like, okay, so he's in a place, he's beating up animatronics. So okay, like what's going on here? And then I actually saw the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gold. And besides all of the different just like stupid horror tropes and the fact that everybody in this movie just knew exactly what kind of a movie they were in, you know, like the southern, you know, drawl, and you know, the ridiculous over the top characters and the teen characters, and all those actors are so bad, but they're purposefully bad, like, and they all get killed in the dumbest ways possible, like their heads get knocked off by these gigantic animatronics. This movie is ridiculous, but that wasn't even the greatest point. I don't know what point I realized it, if it was about like halfway through or about like 3/4 of the way through. But I'm like, oh my God, Nick Cage is not going to say an entire word for this whole movie. I'm like, and that right there is automatically what sets this above the rest. Because it's one thing to have a movie that is so blatantly ripping off Five Nights at Freddy's, doing it better than Five Nights at Freddy's, and straight up just pasting right in his mouth. It's one thing to have that. It's one thing. It's another thing to have a movie that blatantly knows that it's bad. This is not a movie that's trying to be good. This is a movie that knows that it is bad and is not trying to be anything other than the sum of its parts. Again, it didn't even open in theaters. It went direct to Hulu. But to have a movie featuring the Cage Meister himself, that he doesn't say a word for the whole movie, and it ends with him just straight up mercilessly driving through the last animatronic left standing. This movie is incredible. Like, just one of the most fun times that I had in New York 2021. I watched this when I moved back to my college town of Oswego. I was just sitting there, high out of my mind, just having an absolute blast watching this. This is just a good time overall, and it's bad, but it knows it's bad. So, has to be my so bad it's good choice, Willy's Wonderland. So, Pat, going over to you, so you get one more choice before we kind of recycle through and reset. So, you have picked 2000s and beyond, legit great. So bad it's good, and 80s, which means you still have wait, so bad it's good, legit great.
90s. Yeah, I still have 90s and wild
you
card.
still have 90s and wild card.
I
mean, it hasn't been picked yet, so it's still there.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I still have 90s and wild card. Well, I'm gonna go out of the box a little bit. I'm gonna do for my 90s. I'm actually going to take something. I'm going to take a movie that I love that I'm still trying to grab on 4K, but friggin' Arrow is once $100 because everyone bought it. That's 1999's Martin Scorsese movie. Bringing Out the Dead.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is a fantastic movie. Takes place over 48 hours. It's very after hours kind of. 48 hours. Paramedic that has depression. Yeah, manic. It's got a fantastic cast. It's I think it's John Goodman and Ving Rhames, Tom Sizemore, just all doing their thing. Cage is perfect. It made no money when it came out because it was the most depressing, like whatever, gritty, gross movie. Shot by Robert Richardson, who I wish Scorsese still worked with because he used to give him that really glowing neon thing he did in Casino and all that. I absolutely love this movie. It's still undervalued, and yeah, a lot of people seem to because they all bought the friggin' 4K when it came out, and I didn't, and now I can't find it. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, I've heard great things about this. I desperately need to see this. Yeah. All right, so back over to me. I have one choice left, and it's my wild card. Oh man, I could literally pick anything. Oh man, I could go in so many different directions. I could go standard. I could go generic. I could go really wild. I could come really out of left field. Fuck it. I'm doing it. Listen, this movie is bad. This movie is really bad, but I have never, ever seen a movie both before or like it since. It is Neville Dean and Taylor's Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance for my wild card. This movie is fucking spectacular. Oh my god. First of all, the way that it's shot. I've never seen a movie shot like this. Like, second of all, the gigantic drill saw, whatever the fuck sequence that is. Like, the fact that that thing is actually real. That's not an effect. That is like actually real. As I'm going so crazy that my mic is literally mimicking it. Also, I thought the Ghost Rider effects were corny in the first one. Here, they're straight up bad, but they are just, oh, they are awesome. And like, you can't imagine anybody else but Nicolas Cage playing Ghost Rider. Like, it's just, there's nobody else who can do it. The character's name is Johnny Blaze, first of all, and that's his real name. Secondly, like, the scene where he's cornering the one dude at the club, and he's like halfway between like turning into Ghost Rider, but he's trying to resist it. I'm like, is Nick Cage even acting here? Is he just having a stroke? Like, what the hell is going on here? And I mean, the one scene where he's like, where they rescue the kid, and the kid is like, well, have you ever, like, you know, peed well him? And he's like, oh yeah, it's awesome. And it just shows him like literally pissing fire. This movie is spectacular. I don't even know the plot of this movie. Doesn't even really matter. It came out 6 years after the original. I saw it with my dad and my brother in theaters. We all had an absolute blast with it. You have Idris Elba just hamming it up. Karen Hines is the literal devil. It ends with Nick Cage literally bringing him up, being like, worst fucking deal I ever made. You have like the dude who disintegrates everything that he touches. I can't remember his dude's name, but this also has one of the best jokes I've ever seen in any movie ever, where he's trying to pick up something to eat. He keeps picking up like weird things. He picks up an apple, disintegrates. He picks up a sandwich, it disintegrates. He picks up a Twinkie, it's fine, and he starts eating it. That is the greatest joke that I have seen in almost any movie ever. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way that I could do a Nicolas Cage draft without talking about one of my favorite bad movies that I've ever seen in theaters, Ghost Rider, The Spirit of Vengeance. Hands down, one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen. A movie that should not have been made, but oh, I am glad that it does. So that is my wild card choice. So, Jack, bringing it back to you, I believe you are just left with your wild card choice. So what is your wild card?
I think my wild card. I think you talked about this film when it came out last year, and I was just like, I'm kind of like more on the different like wavelength behind this film, and I'm gonna go with like The Surfer. Yeah, listen, man, like I understand like this film is kind of like very crazy in a sense where it's like a slow burn. It's constantly like throwing like crazy close-ups at you, and like Nicolas Cage starts out kind of like tame, but then eventually like it's just about a guy who's like trapped in like this area and he can't get out because the people like living on the beach are just like fucking with him. And it goes into like really crazy like Australian like cult vibes, and I had a blast watching this. I was like frustrated, but like also at the same time while I was watching it, I was just realizing like this is kind of like emulating like those crazy like Australian movies from like the 70s, like Wake and Fright, and just like other films that I like seen before, like The Royal Hotel and like The Swimming Pool, where it's just like a guy who's stuck and he can't get out of a situation, so he just starts to like do crazy shit to like get out of a situation, if that makes sense. And like I think Nick Cage in this film is really really like cool. Like I don't know, like it just really like spoke to me.
Nice. The Surfer. I have not seen it. I just saw that Ron Perlman's in this movie too. I'm like, man, every time you see Nick Cage and Ron Perlman in a movie together, you know you're gonna get some whack shit. And isn't Jackie Earle Haley in this movie too?
Wait, no.
Oh,
I
I'm
think you're
thinking of something else.
I think you're thinking of something else.
I think I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
just like
possible.
Nick Cage.
Yeah, it's possible. Anyway, so Max, going back over to you. You have your final two choices. You have 2000s and beyond and wild card. So what are they going to be?
All right, so I'll go with 2000s. I'm surprised no one brought this movie up, considering we're getting a sequel next year, and that's Lord of War. Talking about a very underappreciated Nick Cage performance. Like, I think this is him turning on the acting, like to like his thespian playing Yuri, gun runner and arms dealer. For both, all the conflicts in the least, everything like that. I think that he definitely carries this movie. He brings a performance which is like shit. He's essentially like the arms trader, the weapons version of Jordan Belfort. Like, this guy's kind of a scumbag for selling these weapons, but the way he's talking, he's charismatic. You're like, shit, I'd buy a gun off of him. Like, I know what he's talking about, everything like that. And I think like his performance throughout the entire movie, then like the ending scene, I like when he's like gonna make another deal. Like, okay, this guy, like, this is definitely Cage, like understanding the performance and just really like, okay, we need to bring in like a level of gravity, and he still has that charm. Like when he's trying to sell the gun to the African warlord, he's like, "Whoa, this is a used gun now," and the guy starts laughing like, and he's just purely business, but it still has like those cageisms too. And honestly, him and Jared Leto have some pretty good chemistry, because I forgot that Jared Leto was even in this movie when I first watched it. I was like, oh shit. And I don't know how a sequel is going to do, because I know Bill Skarsgård is going to be playing his son in the next movie next year. So I don't know, but I like Lord of War like a lot. It's a really really good movie.
All right.
And then
Your
for wild card, listen, there's a lot of choices.
Yes, there are.
But I'm gonna have to go with the first Ghost Rider. It's like, dude, the fact
A man after my own heart.
the fact we have not seen him on Ghost Rider again. Like, first of all, we haven't seen Ghost Rider since like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, raise your hand if you watched that show.
I mean,
Okay,
I watched
that's
the
right,
first season.
Okay,
I haven't.
there we go. That answers my question. But like, Ghost Rider is such an interesting character, and when they're like, we're gonna do Nicolas Cage as Johnny Cage, and the fact that
That's
you read
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze. Why I say Johnny Cage? Mortal Kombat.
You still got Mortal Kombat on the brain. That's why.
The fact that they actually like rendered his actual skull was, I'm like, yep, I'm excited for this. Him, like, you talking about the second one being like crazy camp. The first one when he's turning into Johnny, he's like, and so I was like, oh, okay. It's like, I will say the most badass scene was when he first turned to Ghost Rider. He's like, you guilty. And he just like starts. I'm like, okay, this is like, I like this. I like this Ghost Rider. And then him in the jail cell, he's like, nice jacket. He's like, I really don't want to do this. He's like, you innocent. It was just like, what's going? And then I think my favorite scene is that first you got Sam Elliott in this movie, which is actually awesome. But that last ride he takes as when you find out he's Carter Slade, the original Ghost Rider, and they have that badass final ride in the desert. Like, I was like, shit, all right. Like, if there's an alternate universe where Ghost Rider actually was like a composite good movie, then it could have launched it. Like, I really feel like if we kept the MCU, they're like, hey, Nicholas, you want to come back for me? Like, Ghost Rider. Like they even got him back for a cameo, but I don't know. Like whatever they do for Ghost Rider now, it's not going to hold a candle compared to what we've seen with Nicolas Cage. Like I know they had the dude from Agents of Shield, which he didn't do that bad.
Yeah,
But
that was a different character. That was the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider.
But anything with Johnny Blaze is Nicolas Cage for me. So Ghost Rider is my wild card.
That is funny. Yeah, it's funny because that Sam Elliott is the exact reason why I picked Spirit of Vengeance and not Ghost Rider. Because Spirit of Vengeance I think is just bad, but the fact that first Ghost Rider has that sequence where I'm like, oh no, that sequence shows that movie they were actually trying for something. It didn't necessarily work, but that first movie they were actually trying. The second one they just gave no fucks at all. So that's why I had to go with the second one. And I just realized, Pat, we didn't get your wild card left, so you still have a wild card choice. All the rest of us have our categories completely filled out. So Pat, your final choice, wild card. What's it gonna be?
Damn, there's legit like 20 possibilities here.
You could literally go with anything.
All different shades of whatever. I feel like Spider-Verse is cheating, so I won't do that.
It's not.
No, I know. Well, narrowed it down to 2 90s movies. All right, one was going to be It Could Happen to You, the lottery movie, because I love that. It's pure 90s. Rosie Perez, huge crush on Elizabeth Shue, kind of. Yeah, so whatever. But nah, wild cards, Con Air.
There we go.
All right.
Easy. I watched Con Air on repeat. Con Air on absolute repeat. Yeah, I had that. That was one of the first DVDs I had just on repeat. Cage, Cusack, Malkovich, everybody else, Steve Buscemi. It's just an absurd movie. Terrible accent, terrible wig. It's just fantastic. It makes no sense. It's the most preposterous thing that, honestly, if a movie with that premise was made today, I'd be so psyched. I'd be like, yes, this is the exact kind of thing I want to see and sit through for 2 hours. Yeah, put the bunny back,
the bunny
or whatever,
back.
And just like Malkovich holding the gun to like the bunny's head, or it's just nothing. Everything about it is just perfect. Dave Chappelle's in it. It's wild. It's wild. Yeah. Con Air. Absolutely.
Just a couple notable things that I got to point out when the one bad guys are about to get lit on fire, and he's like, "Sigh!" and he's like, "Onara," and then he fucking blows it up.
Yeah, it's great.
And then also when he's like, Steve Buscemi, when he comes in later on in the movie, and he's just like, definition of irony. Bunch of idiots dancing on a plane to a song made by a band that died in a plane crash. I'm like, this movie is operating on another level. Also, directed by Simon West, who directed my favorite Expendables movie. Not that that's a ringing endorsement, but Expendables 2 is by far the best of the Expendables movies. Again, not that is saying much. All right, so I just got to do some reorganization here, but overall, I think we have our choices all pretty much laid out. The categories have been filled. I mostly went with whatever good ones I felt like I genuinely liked, and then the rest is just all pure schlock. And I feel like the rest of you, for the most part, put in a decent effort, so I give you guys a lot of credit for that.
Thanks.
Just get that. Almost done. Oh, the organizing after the fact is always so much fun. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so going through it. So my 6 choices. For 80s, I went with Fast Times at Ridgemont High. 90s, I went Face Off. 2000s and beyond, Matchstick Men. Legit great, 8mm. So Bad It's Good, Willy's Wonderland. And Wild Card, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. For Mac Movie Reviews. 80s, Vampire's Kiss. 90s, The Rock. Legit good, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So Bad It's Good, Mom and Dad. Let me find it. 2000s and beyond, Lord of War. Wild Card, Ghost Rider. 2006. Same year as Wicker Man. Wow. What an era. Truly was. For Jack, your choices. 80s, Raising Arizona. 90s, Wild at Heart. 2000s, if I could spell bad correctly instead of bat. 2000s and beyond, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Legit great, Dream Scenario. So Bad It's Good, The Wicker Man, and Wild Card, The Surfer. And Pat, your choices. 80s, Moonstruck. So Bad It's Good, Season of the Witch. Legit great. Adaptation. 2000s and Beyond, Pig. 90s, Bringing Out the Dead. And Wild Card, Con Air, saved the best for last, truly. And that was it. That was our Nicolas Cage Draft Hall of Fame. Regardless of the inherent quality of some of these movies, I think that all of these movies are worth watching in some capacity or another. Maybe not Season of the Witch, but all of these movies, that's the thing about Nick Cage. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's ridiculous, whether it's so bad it's good, you can always get something out of it. Because like I said, there truly is nobody else like the man. Spider Noir, streaming right now on Amazon Prime. I highly, highly recommend watching it in the black and white version. I think that is in its truest form, how it is meant to be watched. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Where can the good people follow you on the interwebs? We're going to go around in the circle. We'll start with Jack. Jack, where can the good people follow you on the interwebs?
So you can find me on YouTube, Swerve Master 18. Currently doing some like movie reviews. I'm trying to like catch up because I just finished my semester, so I'm like free over the summer, just doing random shit, and I'm happy to talk about some of the movies that are coming out recently and Oscar predictions and et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll just be like doing that for now until TIFF. Which I'm really excited to go back.
If the TIFF slate gets even half the con titles that came out, oh man, we are in for. Like I said, I've been saying this for a while now. I'm like, this TIFF might be even better than the last one.
Yeah, we can like tear up the city next time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good.
It's a good year. It's a big year. This year's got a lot of stuff.
We got Disclosure Day in
way
2 weeks.
more packed than last year.
Oh man.
Yeah, we got Masters.
It's supposed to be good
next
week.
week.
I'm so happy.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't think you guys understand. After having just seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind at the Paris Theater here, I need Disclosure Day to end with Richard Dreyfuss coming out of the ship. Like I need that to happen like so badly. Going over you, Mac. Movie.
I don't know if they're
man,
gonna
it would
do
be
that.
sick if they did though. Mac, where can the good people follow you on the interwebs?
You can follow me at Mac Movie Reviews on YouTube. We got a new gaming channel at Mac Movie Gaming 2. We're doing our live streams, talking about movies, playing video games. I got my tickets for Disclosure Day opening night, 5/20, June 11th. So I'm going to have that review coming up. And then I'm probably going to do a review of a scary movie coming up soon, too.
Oh, yeah. Dude, real quick, Mac, did you see the thing of where like the Scary Movie team made a letterbox account for like Regina Hall's character? I had like all the letterbox reviews of like all the recent horror movies.
Oh my god! That's why I'm so glad the Wayans have this back, because after 2, it was just, you can tell it wasn't them, and I'm so happy they're back with doing this. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I got the Scary Movie Backrooms trailer last night before the movie, but I missed some of it because I was running to the bathroom before it started. I was like, oh man,
it happens.
Oh well.
It happens. And real quick, Pat, did you see the Onslaught trailer?
No, I don't think I did.
Onslaught, new
no.
A24 movie.
I don't think
Adam
I did.
Wingard directing, back in the horror realm.
Oh no, I did get that one. Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize that was the name.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like,
Yep.
what is this? I was like, this is the least A24 looking A24 movie ever. I was like, all right, fair enough, guys.
I'm like, this looks like a grindhouse movie made by A24. I am so in. Pat, where can the good people follow you on the interwebs?
I'm just on Letterboxd, Motion Sui 77 on Letterboxd. Pop and do like small reviews or whatever over there. But yeah, always open to discuss. For whatever. But yeah, man, at the theater every week, multiple times.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and like I said, we got some barn burner episodes coming up for Lost, man. If you ever want to hop on, like I said, we got 3. We're doing This Place Means Death
let me
tomorrow.
know.
We got 316 next week. Life and Death of Jeremy Bentham. LaFleur is in a couple weeks, so whenever you want to hop on, you let us know.
Yeah, man. Whenever. Yeah.
All right. Sounds
I'm
good. All right. And you guys can follow me with everything going on at Movie Nerd Reviews across all platforms, at Official Talk TV Podcast across all platforms. Be sure to subscribe to us if you're watching us on YouTube. Follow us if you're listening to us on Spotify. And as always, people, 12 seasons in a short film, and watch more fucking movies. We'll see you guys next time, or in this case, tomorrow, for Lost and the Back Rooms.